Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cast of Us. Episode 5, I'm KassemG. With me, as always, is Bruce Green. Say hi, Bruce.
Hi.
This is our Last of Us discussion show. Every week after the episode airs, we get online and we do this live on twitch.tv/KassemG, and then we put it up on youtube.com/Bruce Green for you to watch as a VOD. It's a team effort. If you want to join in on the discussion, go Mondays at around 6 p.m. Go to Twitch, and that's where we are. And, you can throw in your opinion.
You got to say 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Oh, yeah, 6 p.m. Pacific time. PST, join us. I know there are folks all over the world that are watching this, and some of you are in Ohio, where animals are dying all around you.
That's true. Hopefully people in Ohio are doing okay. Palestine, Ohio. They're doing okay? I hope they're doing okay.
I don't think so, man. I think they're...
I've been worried about them for a few days.
It's been rough. It's been rough. And is everything that's happening in our skies a distraction from the humanitarian crisis that's going on in Ohio, Palestine, East Palestine?
Also in Turkey, too. Is that a distraction? Shooting down balloons. A distraction from all the things that are happening right now.
Gosh, we should really...
Just say yes. Just say yes.
Absolutely. No, I know. You're right. What I'm saying is that we need to open this up into a world affairs pod as soon as we get done talking about episode 5 of The Last of Us. Bruce,
you don't want to talk about politics right now?
I do. I would do. I like talking about politics, race, religion, abortion. I want to talk about... transgender rights,
all of it. Okay, all right. Let's do it. Let's get into it.
I just want to but right now, the first thing on our list is talking about episode 5 of The Last of Us, titled "Endure and Survive." Bruce, right off the top, this episode aired a couple days ago, by the way, right before the Super Bowl.
That's right.
I had to watch it twice.
So I watched it last night on purpose because I didn't want to watch it and have it not be fresh. So I watched last night. That's what I normally do, is watch it on Sunday nights, then do the podcast on Monday.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish I had watched this episode twice because this episode kicks ass.
I thought this episode was among the best. I think this episode and the one with Nick Offerman, episode 3, and the other gentleman who I should know, that was a fantastic TV. TV.
It's Murray Bartlett.
Murray Bartlett, yes, from The White Lotus.
Yeah, from White Lotus. But this episode to me is the way I want my Last of Us. This is so obviously the Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett episode is a piece of prestige television that we all can get behind. And
we submit that episode for the awards.
Right. But
however,
episode 5 is the one that Bruce Green is sitting there going, yes. Like when you see the bloater come out of the sinkhole and start tearing people apart. That's what I'm looking for in my Last of Us.
It had a little bit of everything, didn't it, Bruce, this episode? It had the wonderful addition of Sam and Henry, which those of us that played the game remember those two characters very fondly. It was a sort of a heartbreaking short stint, and it was also filled with action. Just like you spoke about. It had the, and by the way, guys, spoiler alert, we're going to be spoiling this show hard for the next 45 to an hour, okay? So if you haven't watched it, please. But there was a bloater in this episode, which we alluded to last week, and boy, that was fun, right? And so it had it had the heart, it had the action, it had one of my favorite sequences in the game in it, which was the sniper scene.
Absolutely.
That's
Joel. Great.
It was absolutely fantastic. It also fleshed out Kathleen, which is not a character from the games, but it fleshed her character out a little bit and concluded her character. And so it was a longer episode. It had really, it was probably overall like the best Last of Us episode in terms of what this show is aiming to do, which is touch you with human stories about the relationships people have in this post-apocalyptic world, and then also show you some cool monsters and some action scenes.
I would completely agree. I saw Rex in your chat say this is the best, or my favorite episode so far. I completely agree. This was my favorite episode by far.
Yeah. Yep. Twist 84. Who's shouting out the actors that played Henry and Sam. Henry played by Lamar Johnson, and Sam, who was, I think this is one of his first ever acting gigs, which I listened to.
Really?
The Making of podcast, played by, I want to say Kayvon Woodard, and he was fantastic, and he
nailed it.
A deaf actor and just completely nailed it. What do you think of the choice to make Sam deaf in the show versus in the game where he's not?
So that to me was terrifying. I was trying to imagine having a child to take care of or a little brother who is deaf in this world is a nightmare. That's a nightmare because then he will never know he'll never know where the danger is coming from. He'll never know if there is danger. So it made it way scarier to have to think about taking care of somebody who can't hear because they just don't know, and you are their only sense for this sort of thing, a danger sense, other than maybe a feeling or a smell or something like that.
It really it really upped the stakes in a wonderful way. I saw a little bit of discourse around like, this is what they did in A Quiet Place. Guys, A Quiet Place doesn't have ownership over deaf characters. And then we're allowed to see deaf characters and all kinds of stuff. If you're one of the people that thought that was a kind of a weird,
I didn't even think about that. And Kassem, you're exactly right. Yeah, they could be in anything.
They can be in anything. They are people too.
Correct.
And what the show does is so far, in my opinion, any change in any sort of like direction that's different than what the game is, I thought they've done that really wonderfully and only sort of enriched the story.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I don't think it's funny because I didn't play the game on purpose. I mean, I played the game 2 years ago, but I didn't play it recently on purpose because I didn't want to refresh my memory as to what the story was in the video game. I distinctly remember that sniper section in the game where there is a sniper firing and you have to like flank, go from house to house basically to get up to the sniper. I remember that.
Yeah.
I barely remember Henry and Sam from the game. And they stood out to me so much more in the television show than the video game.
Yeah. I recently played the game, but I have a notoriously bad memory. And so even though I played this game literally 3-4 weeks ago, I forgot what happened to Sam, right? And so when Sam turns at the end of the episode, I had to turn to Ashley and be like, "Oh, is that what happened in the game?" She's like, "Yeah, that's exactly what happened in the game." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, good." I just it's hard for me to sometimes pay attention to the story in a game because I'm like I'm actually trying to like physically make my way through it.
Absolutely,
And I miss a lot of the stuff. And so what's been really nice is having this combo of playing it recently, because the last time I had played it was when the game first came out. So now I had the remastered version to play, which looked amazing. And then the show to sort of like, fill in a lot of the stuff I missed. Or, you just didn't see. Like a lot of times, especially with the, some of the stuff that's just notes, they really kind of build those things into the show, like with Bill and Frank.
The comic book.
Yeah, in the comic book as well.
Yeah.
So the episode opens with sort of a rewind back into the story of Kathleen and Sam and Henry. So it shows Kathleen pictured here, who's like interrogating a bunch of like, I'm guessing they're ex-Fedra folks that are like considered
these were
rats.
I think, these were the informants. So I don't think they were Fedra. I think they were
just random
people that lived there that were informants.
That ratted to Fedra. Okay.
They were the rats. That's what I gathered. I could be wrong though.
No. But, you're correct. You're correct.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I do, and that's like right out of like the Holocaust and things like that.
It totally is.
There is a lot of parallels, and it's we see here that she lost her brother to an informant, which is Henry. And Henry kind of gave up her brother. And what we learn about her brother in this?
So we learned, this is like, we're kind of jumping ahead into the episode, but we learned that her brother was kind of magnanimous. People loved him. He was really, really great to everybody. He was forgiving. He seemed to be a really good leader. He didn't have the vengeance and the anger that Kathleen did. It's Kathleen, right? I want to make sure I get that character's name correctly. Kathleen didn't have the. I mean, like, in my opinion, Kathleen is like a horrible person. Like,
she's not a good person. Yeah.
She says that in the show. She says, "I am not a good person." So we find out that her brother, who we kind of learned throughout the episode, that Henry ended up killing her brother, but her brother was loved by everybody. And you know, for seemingly, it feels like her brother probably shouldn't have died. But we discover later on in the episode, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but we discover later on in the episode why Henry killed Kathleen's brother.
Right. And there is a great line, and I think it's Perry that has it, where he says, look, we all loved your brother, but you actually got stuff done, you know,
That's
which
right.
is, you know, it's nice to know Perry, because sometimes you look at him, you go, oh, this guy isn't on board, but then he is on board. But it's it's kind of, it's like nuanced, you know, it's like,
he's the enforcer.
He's the enforcer. If he didn't believe in her in the way he did, he would question a lot of those decisions, and he never does. He just kind of does it.
Well, he kind of he questions a little bit when she comes in and goes, all right, fine, Henry and Sam. And he's like, well, we just took over the city. Can we, like, maybe hold on a second? And
yes,
she's
he
like,
does
absolutely
question,
not.
yes.
We got to get him right now. And in my opinion, Perry's right.
Yeah.
Perry's right
because
to be like, let's hold on a second.
Right. She's being blinded by her emotions. And so he's sort of trying to take a sort of bigger picture look. Correct. Exactly right.
And Kathleen has, I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong. She only has the one reason to get Henry, and that's vengeance, right? That's it.
Yeah. This woman's running on pure revenge.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
That's kind of hot.
There's no logistics. Kind of hot that she's going to kill you because
she's just, you know, like,
she's driven.
She's absolutely.
She's motivated.
She's career oriented.
Because there doesn't, from what I can see, there is no logistical reason to get Henry and Sam, right? None.
No, I from what I understand, he doesn't possess anything that she needs. It's just purely she wants, as what's his name, Partner Face in the chat is saying, it's an eye for an eye type situation.
That's it. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So we pick up with Sam and Henry, like right before we see Joel and Ellie enter the town, and obviously last episode we saw the doctor sort of at gunpoint. Edelstein, and we know what happens to him. Kathleen absolutely blasts his brains out. But
that's right.
But we see here that he was, what was he doing? He's sort of like offering them help. Like I know Sam is sick in some way. Like, did they need? There was something here. Like I know Sam had cancer.
Yeah. So I think again this is sort of implied in the episode, but I think Edelstein was the one that was treating Sam, because we found out Sam had leukemia.
Yeah.
And they had to get medicine. Henry had to get medicine for Sam. Yeah. So I believe the doctor Edelstein was the one helping Sam with the leukemia and puts him into remission, cures him.
Right.
And then of course he offers shelter here. Like it's kind of like in an attic, basically, away from all of the
I'm
resistance.
getting Anne Frank vibes. I mean, there is a lot
absolutely. It
is scary kind of how many different parallels there are. 1989 Stream TV, welcome to the chat, brother. Always like to welcome a first time chatter. And here we have Sam and Henry, sort of like he has a bag, like a rather large bag of crayons. Like if this was the end of the world, I might like pare it down to a sandwich bag. This is a freezer, a gallon bag, a freezer gallon. How would you say that? This is a giant Ziploc bag filled with crayons.
That's really nice of them, huh?
Incredibly nice. Maybe too nice. I got to imagine that there is room in the bag for other things. This goes against, now that I'm thinking about it, because in the game, there is a scene where Sam, like, picks up a toy and he wants to take it, and Henry goes, "No, dude. What do we say? What do we say about toys? That takes up room in the bag. It's unnecessary." And he doesn't let him have his toy, and Ellie takes the toy for him and like gives it to him. This kind of contradicts that a little bit. It makes him a little more human in that case.
I think the prop master kind of screwed up. That's probably, they were probably like in a bag full of crayons, and then the prop master brought in this bag full of crayons and was like, "All right, here it is," and they were like, "That's huge. We don't need that
bag." They're like, "Yeah, all we had was freezer gallon bags." That's all we had.
That's a lot of crayons. I didn't notice that.
Well, now we got to fill the crayons because we only have 7. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Let's fill them up. Get that Mega 64 packs. Or I said Mega 64 because of your shirt.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so that's great. I thought that was a nice touch. It was there was a nice little humanity here. This is a cool little bit where they worked in his drawing into his like face paint, and obviously here this is where we catch Henry looking at Joel and Ellie when they burst into town, and then we're sort of caught up here. We pick up, and essentially the guns are drawn, but they're like, "Look, I trust you. I'm going to put the gun down, but we got to trust each other. We're not killers, blah, 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 blah." And so I think Joel looks at him. He's got a young kid with him. He's got a young girl with him. There's a little bit of trust that's earned right away, but he's still kind of on guard. They share some food together. Yeah. You know, I hear this tossed around, like, but, you know, they're sort of like a mirror image of Joel and Ellie, folks that are sort of in an old and a young, kind of running through this crazy world together where, you know, you're responsible for the life of this child essentially and the stresses that come with that. And but in this case, I feel like Ellie can kind of stick up for herself a lot more than Sam can.
It's only for me, only because Ellie's older. So it seems kind of like Ellie's guiding Sam through life. He's sort of the younger version of Ellie because she's got a gun and like, you know, like she's kind of learned to, I feel like she's tougher than Sam.
She definitely is.
She's been toughened up.
But she right away like takes to Sam in a really like cute way, like in a big sister way. And so Henry sort of tells Joel and Ellie like, "Hey, I got a plan. I need you guys to help me get through it. I've never actually like killed anyone, and we're going to take the tunnels." Which was fun because there was like a real plan here. I thought this would like actually might be a real plan. Kathleen and her whole gang thinks that the tunnels are infected with hundreds of infected runners and whoever underneath. We know from the episode before that there's something big breathing in underneath the floor there. And
the tunnels are clear. We're good.
They're fine. They're absolutely fine.
They walk right through them. The episode, dude. It's like, it's funny because I was getting all tensed up when they were like, "We're going through the tunnels," and I was like, "Oh boy, here we go! Like it's going to be a whole shootout style, just like the video game, blah blah blah." And it's like 2 minutes, they're through. They pop up into a little city, and they're like, "Look at that, we made it!" And I was like, "Oh, well, I didn't expect it to be so easy."
Yeah, it was pretty easy in the game. So they sort of stumble across what looks like, you know, a place that people actually lived. It's got like a school, and in the game we see this, and one of the notes that you read in the game is by a guy named Ish, and Ish seems to have had a community that lived underground, and they had schools, and this seems to be a whole story that like came and went by the time Joel and Ellie had arrived, and I thought the set design here was really wonderful.
Oh, it's great. I mean, like the drawings on the wall and stuff are so haunting. They're so like they're just so terrible. It's so sad.
Kid drawings anywhere, like if you see a kid drawing and there's no kids around, automatically think it's automatically creepy and horrific. Yes, something bad has happened. You know what I mean?
And I gotta hand it to the art department on this show because that looks to me like someone went around and just drew it. Like they just like took hours and hours and hours and put up the practical drawings of a kid. It looks awesome. So they're killing it.
Yeah, I'd like to think that if I was a director, I would make the call of like, I want to actually have kids come draw on these walls. But the truth of the matter is like movie kid drawings and TV show kid drawings are different than what actual kid. Like if you look at this here,
yeah,
I know this looks like really bad, but it's got like some art to it, right? It's got a style to it. But if you let some kid like willy-nilly on your TV show, like, all right,
it's garbage.
It's fucking garbage. You're like, let's get the fucking art director in here. Do it with your
kids
left
are bad
hand.
artists. No,
They're
kids are
just
bad
no
artists.
good. And you're about to be a dad. How are you gonna pretend that your kid's art is gonna be like any good? Do you know what I mean? Are you?
They're not allowed to make any art. No, they're not allowed to make any art in my house. None. They're not. They're not allowed to draw. They're not allowed to nothing. It's gonna be an artless household for the next 15 years.
That's why I love you. Yeah, science only.
Hard line. I would draw a hard line in the sand. They're going to be an engineer, and that's it.
Yeah. This was fun. This is kind of like you get a little bit of a back and forth here with Henry and Joel, and this is where we have that conversation where Kathleen is sort of like a little emotional about her brother, and Perry's like, "You're the dude." He's like, "You're the dude. We follow you. We'll do whatever you need."
Oh, also, I think in the back and forth between Henry and Joel, I think that's when Henry tells Joel that he killed Kathleen's brother for the medicine.
Okay,
right?
yeah. And so can you elaborate on what exactly he turned him in for?
Yeah, so Henry at the start of the episode says, "I'm not a killer. I've never fired a gun. I don't know what I'm doing. I just put the gun up to you because I wanted to make sure that you weren't going to do anything." Later on, he says, "Joel, I lied. I actually have killed somebody. I killed the leader of the Resistance's brother, Kathleen's brother. I forget his name, but everybody loved him, but I had to kill him because somebody was going to give me the medicine to cure Sam's leukemia if I killed Kathleen's brother." Now, this to me is a little bit of a loose kind of a plot device. I was like,
"Oh, you don't have the cure to leukemia?"
Well, that, but not even that. Just some more. They're like, why would this guy need to die in order to get the medicine? Like, was Fedra really that upset with this guy that everybody loved?
Well, I mean, if he was the leader of the Resistance, and the Resistance is the biggest sort of thorn in your side, if you're Fedra, maybe having somebody take care of it for you is not a bad idea. And by the way, here's a little bottle of leukemia cure. It's all yours. By the way, do they have cures to leukemia, or is it just a treatment? Or is it
I think it's probably just a treatment.
Okay. Well, it worked.
But I think to me that this is a lot. So, we started off this podcast a few weeks ago by saying I don't necessarily think that the dystopian view of this show is anywhere near what reality is. I think reality is going to probably be better than this if this ever happened.
I hope you're right, but I tend to think it's going to be just as bad.
Nah, it's not going to. I think that there is a little more
for your meat.
I mean, you might, but I think there's other humans that are better than you. Actually, I think there are a lot more humans that are better than you.
There are quite a few.
And I think the dystopian twist on this show really shows in these sorts of stories. I'm not. Actually, it's funny. I'm not an optimist. I'm a realist because people 50-50 call me a pessimist and an optimist. So I know I'm a realist.
You just gave me optimism based on your realism. I'm glad to know. Right. Well, it's good to know that I could murder you in case everything kind of went to shit.
Hold on. I didn't say I wouldn't fight back.
Well, no, you just said you would lay down arms and offer food and shelter. I think that's what I took.
I never said. Well, you could take that, but I never said those words.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Either way, I don't think the dystopian twist on the show is. It feels realistic, but I don't think it is. Regardless, so this story to me was like, I'll totally go along with it.
Yeah.
But I was like, what? Why would he have it? Why would he need to kill this one dude? And this was get him the one bottle of leukemia. I don't know. There was a lot. It was a lot.
Well, either way, it looks like Sam is doing much better.
He's doing great.
He's doing great.
He's back. Yeah, he's back.
And they've kind of found their way through the underground tunnels, and now they're on a street where they're getting shot at by a sniper. Just like in the game, it was a very fun sequence. That's one of the sequences in the game that that stand out that I really remember. And in the show, it seems like very easy for Joel to sort of make his way up to where the sniper is, whereas in the game, there's people everywhere, and the sniper's pretty good. What do you think about the change here of making this guy an old man, and Joel kind of doesn't really have to struggle with it in any way?
Well, that kind of explains why he made it up to the house so quickly, right? Because even says Joel even says he's a terrible shot.
Yes, he says that, and the creators talk about it. They were like, well, how can we make this more interesting? Why this guy's such a bad shot? Well, how about he's just old?
He's just old, and he clearly doesn't. His eyesight's not very good in the nighttime. So Joel just basically wanders up. Because if it were me, I was thinking if I was a sniper, I would have. Knowing that somebody's flanking my house, I would 100% have a gun pointed at the door.
Well, absolutely. And then also every sniper knows, like, once you fire that shot, you got to move, baby. You got to move. You got to. Maybe you can pop off a couple, but you got to move positions. And
we find out why. We find out of course booby traps. We find out why he's there though. It's because he's got them pinned down for Kathleen. So he's a member of the Kansas City Resistance.
Yeah, and so Joel hears on the radio that Kathleen's on her way, and everyone sort of takes notice, and Joel tells them to run, and then, man, this is cool. It's kind of like Mad Maxy.
Hold on. Anime Toonami says he wasn't trying to hit them. I don't know that I agree with that, but
okay, look, if you can sort of show me something, I didn't hear them say that in the podcast with the creators. They just said he was old and he was not a good shot. I figured if that was true, maybe they would have mentioned it. I do think that's within the realm of possibility as an old man who doesn't want to kill anyone but doesn't want to say that he's not doing his job.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
that's really giving the show a lot of credit there. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you pay attention, Anna. You're telling us about. I watched the show twice. All right, I'm trying to pay attention. So it's kind of like the whole brigade is on the way, and they got some a nice little lineup of vehicles here with off-road lights, and let's move into essentially them chasing him down. This whole Ellie firing the little pistol at these guys, and
I know
she wasted 3 bullets on this. The 3 or 4 bullets. And then, just out of the game, you've got Joel up there trying to protect them and clear the way. And essentially, they're behind the vehicle, and Henry does the heroic thing and sort of says he gives himself up, essentially.
Gives himself up almost right away, because he's like, I'm going to give myself up. You kids run that way. I'll put my hands up. Which, again, watching this and seeing how close they are, this is a great shot, Kassem. Seeing how close they are to the people walking up, I'm like, they would just shoot them on the way out. The kids would run by. They would just plug them in the back as they ran away. But
yes, this is. I also had that. There's also another podcast that I listened to that picked that same nit, and it is
just very minor. I love the show.
Minor.
I love the show.
It's not. Guess what? We're gonna have to suspend a little bit of belief here, guys.
It's a television show.
It is a television show, and blocking is important. So you got Henry here giving up, but then all of a sudden a sinkhole opens up, and a really fun, almost World War Z-esque shot of all these zombies coming out.
What a great shot!
Great shot. Followed by the guy that we've been waiting for, Senor Blotar, who's coming out here, and he is he's mammoth.
He's huge. What made him, Kassem? Why is he big?
I don't know. This is a good question. Now,
does the game lore explain as to why some of the fungus infected humans are giant and have insane strength? Do we know why?
This is a great question. In the sequel, we know that there is a giant monster called the Rat King, and it's a fusion of a bunch of different people and other clickers, and he's big because he's a bunch of things together. I don't think that this is the case here for the bloater. Baby, do you know why a bloater is bigger?
Because it's been infested for longer.
So just because it's a time thing, but the time also makes them grow larger.
Yes.
Okay, so she's just saying it's a time thing because all these zombies essentially are on a timetable. They start as a runner, stalker, clicker, bloater, and so the longer they gestate, especially if you've been underground and nothing's been there to hurt you, you just grow and you grow and you grow. So this is probably one of the oldest infected people, and because so has grown into this. Literally this killer fucking monster.
He's a monster. Because I mean, they shoot him 100 times and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Perry shoots him, unloads a clip. It doesn't matter.
Yep. This is Perry's sort of last hurrah here. He looks at the bloater. Bloater stands up and comes right for him with speed, I might add. Really, really hustled.
That was another thing. I was like, why did the bloater pick out Perry? It's because he shot him, maybe?
I guess it's because if I had to guess, it's because he was the one shooting.
Okay.
And he was like in the direct sort of line of sight, you know?
Did you get the screenshot of Perry dying?
Yes, I did.
Fantastic.
For some reason, this thing is going on its own here. Let's go back.
That's fine. No
Let's
problem.
Go back. Okay.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, no.
A fun shot. And so the creators talked about initially, and they had Weta do all the digital effects of CGI here. Originally, they wanted Perry's body torn in half at the waist.
Okay.
And they said essentially that it didn't look real enough after they had spent all that time. And Neil Druckmann was like, well, let's have him do the head. Like, I liked the idea of him pulling the head off. They went with that. The head, and I thought it was really effective. It seemed to just pop off like a bottle cap. It was just.
It's great too because it's like the screenshot you got here. It's in the background, so it's kind of blurred out. You don't necessarily. It's not this close-up shot of gore.
It's not super gruesome.
Yeah, it's not super gruesome, but it's just enough to be like, oh my god, like just like, ooh, boy, oh boy, it's just right away too. Like, I guess if you're Perry in this sense, that's it. You're done. So at least he died quick.
Boy. Yeah, he died quick. He died quick.
And he was quick.
Loyal. He was a loyal boy, and we're sad to see him go. And that's the end of Perry. Meanwhile, Ellie runs into this van, and there is a new, even new to the game here, character that we've never seen, which is a child clicker. And they had one of the game animators come and design. They brought him on to design what a child clicker would look like. And,
really?
Yeah, and then so they introduced a child clicker here for the first time, which was absolutely terrifying. It reminded me of the show, the movie Megan, in the way that
was it a little girl in the costume?
I have to think so. It's
a nightmare.
It is an absolute nightmare. I would rather maybe. What would you rather be? Would you rather be like up against 2 or 3 of these child clickers or one bloater?
Oh, child clickers 10 times out of 10. At least I can kick them off a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that bloater,
fast.
I don't. But that bloater, I don't stand a chance.
Bloater,
you get
something like in between you and a bloater, like that, like Chevy Suburban or something, like something, maybe a Tahoe, a fully equipped Tahoe, Z71 package, or like you just do something like because these little clickers, these little kids are fast, they're quick because you see it. Right when it gets on, here's a nice close-up shot. Like there's a little bit of Chucky here. Am I wrong?
Well, they also somebody in the chat says they found a 9-year-old contortionist, and I was thinking that too. I was like, this is either really good CG, which it probably isn't, or it is somebody that is a contortionist because the way they move is again a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
This is a wonderful, wonderfully creepy thing. So she flips over the seat. It's disgusting. It's scary. And I hate it in the same way I hate little like bed bugs or something, like they're too small, too many of them are scary. And so here's a shot where Henry and Sam are sort of underneath the car. They've got 2 clickers on them. I assume at this point, Henry's somewhere over here on the left. He's being bitten as we speak, but we don't know that quite yet, do we?
Well, hold on. You spoiler.
Oh, damn it. Did you not listen to my spoiler? My spoiler alert earlier?
No, I know. But it's a fun reveal.
We're gonna get into the sort of emotional toll of it. Here, Ellie being kind of a badass. Joel is up there, sort of shooting the way for her. she knifes these two clickers.
She's doing the shiv kills from the game.
Absolutely.
Those are the shiv kills.
Absolutely
Love
sick maneuvers here. She pulls them out, but not without Kathleen sort of getting them at the very end, right? She points the gun. But guess what? That child clicker, I didn't screen cap it here, but the child clicker comes out and absolutely like hits her MMA style, where it's just left, right, left, right, left, right. It's a wonderful scene.
That's right.
And that's the end of
Kathleen. She's on the ground, and the kid's slapping Kathleen back and forth over and over and over. Yeah. Just ground and pound on Kathleen, and Kathleen and Perry are just gone like that.
Yeah, man. It's the end of our current villain. So as we know, there's gonna be villains come and go in this game, and the ones that we were introduced to last episode, they're all done, and all these guys are now sort of in the street going after the rest of her team. It doesn't look good for them.
No, it does not. And I was reading, I think I was reading something on one of the subreddits earlier today, and people were saying that the implication there is that since the resistance has now taken over the Fedra city and kind of like freed the city, now that the resistance, most of the resistance has been wiped out there, the rest of those clickers are just going to run into the city and demolish the rest of the city. And that's it for Kansas City. Curtains for Kansas City.
Damn. Wow. And they just won the Super Bowl.
I know.
You know, they had a lot to be proud of. Well, good. Guess what? We don't give a shit. And then we're just moving forward, because now we still got to go find our brother Tommy. But before then, they're sort of held up here in this motel. And nice touching moment with Ellie and Sam. They're reading the Savage Starlight comic. And, here's a little like indication that something's not right. And he shows her that he's been bit.
Oh, yep. You could tell because he was real sad, and Ellie's, real happy. And I'm like, well, because again, I kind of don't remember. So I'm watching this scene going, oh, he's already infected. He's been bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Citrix says, when she tried to save him, it hurt my heart knowing that shit wasn't going to work and she'd be losing her new best friend. And it was kind of a touching scene where, obviously she doesn't know shit about medicine. You just can't put your blood on someone, Ellie.
Why not?
That's
how you get AIDS.
That is how you get AIDS, and that's how you catch a disease, not a cure. And so
that's bullshit, Kassem. That's not science.
Where's Matthew McConaughey a la Dallas Buyers Club when you need a warning, And so she kind of, in a last ditch effort to see if she can save her new pal here, her like little brother character, she cuts her hand open in the hopes that it will do something. I think she kind of knows it doesn't, and it won't, and she sort of gives him sort of a last little hug here. And
wait, well, hold on. I feel like if she doesn't know that, why the fuck is she sleeping in the same room? She says she's going to stay up, but she passes out, of course.
Yeah, I think there's a part of her that knows that that might not be it, but I think she's hopeful. Uh-oh.
That's all right. No
I got doubled up on the wrong images. God damn it.
Okay. I love seeing these images are great. Trash. I'll look at these all day. This is my favorite sequence, I think, from the entire show so far.
Yeah, well, essentially, you guys remember at the end here, there is one more scene where she wakes up, and Sam is just staring at the window, and obviously, he's just staring there. And I found the answer to why he was just staring there and not like didn't react to her when she called out to him was because he's deaf, and so obviously that would carry over when you're a zombie. And as soon as she touches him, he realizes, oh, I got to eat this person. And then he sort of chases her in the other room.
He's been turned.
And he's been turned.
He's now a runner, right?
He is now a runner. And is a fantastic performance from the actor Lamar Johnson, who plays Henry. I thought this was the best, one of the best performances in the show so far. The realization that he just had to kill his brother, and it didn't really even hit him until he shot him, and it was like instinctual. He knew he like saved Ellie instinctually, and then realized he killed his brother. It was like wonderfully played by that actor.
It really was. I really loved. I didn't remember anything. I don't know if this is how this plays out in the game, so I'm following along with this scene in real time, kind of going like, well, wait, what's Henry gonna do now that he's shot Sam, I'm thinking to myself, he's free. He can go do whatever he needs to do. Like he can go with Joel and Ellie. He can go his own way. Like he's kind of learned how to be a survivor, and he doesn't have to worry about Sam anymore. So what's he going to do? Kassem, what does he do?
Well, he does what I would do if you became a zombie and I had to kill you, Bruce. I would just shoot myself right after in a beautiful sort of Shakespeare-esque moment where we both go down. I lose my best bud. I'm going out too. I'll see you.
Henry just shoots himself right in the head. And I go, and I remember, I mean, you hear Joel, Pedro Pascal scream, no, because that's what I would have done. Right. Pedro Pascal kills it because he screams, no, because I that's exactly what I would have been like, no, man, you're good now. We can make it through. Yeah, he's free. Yes, really, dude. Yes, he's free. He doesn't have to worry about Sam anymore. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, what would be the first thing? So if say you were taking care of your younger brother, right? And your younger brother bites it, literally, and you have to kill him. Now you're free. What's the first thing you go do?
Strip club.
You go to a strip club.
That's right. Yeah.
And you get there, right? There's like the windows are broken. Plants are growing through the stage, right? There's right. All the glass is cracked. You find one of those VIP booths in the back.
Yeah, that's right. I think your chat has forgotten that this is a television show because they're like, he's free, really, dude? yes, guys, it's fiction.
It's not. Fiction, it's not real, guys. And I would like to think that we would all go to the strip club after.
It's fiction, everybody.
Is there? I don't know if there is in the lore, but are there brothels? You know, are there brothels in this? Because you know, in the comic Sweet Tooth, right? There are brothels in a post-apocalyptic world. That's the world's oldest profession, and I guarantee you it'll be one of the last professions. It is a service that people need, and I just gotta wonder what a brothel in the Last of Us universe looks like. Clicker strippers, Citrix says, absolutely.
I gotta say something about the fandom of Last of Us. No, it's not bad takes, guys. This is the Last of Us fandom really has a hard time
diverging from
just thinking about any like they can't. There's no sense of humor around this at all. It's like all of this is the gospel. Right. It's just a story, everybody. Don't worry.
Do you think? Well, let me ask you this because I don't think you're like I don't think that's a bad take because essentially, if Ellie would have died. Do you think Joel would kill himself?
No, of course not.
There would be.
We know Joel would.
He would be sad, right? But there is a little bit of freedom. There's a little bit of freedom.
Free does not imply that Henry would be happy to be relieved of Sam. Not at all.
No.
That does not imply that at all. That means he is free of the responsibility of Sam. Right. You took that, not me.
You guys are showing your own baggage here.
Yeah, it's true.
In the chat.
It's true. It is one of those things really, if you want to actually go down this rabbit hole, there's a lot of people that I've had a lot of friends and family that have taken care of people with Alzheimer's and dementia. And there are two really sad things about it. If their relative passes away, the person they were taking care of, obviously they're incredibly sad, but then also they are free of that responsibility. And that is something that people talk about a lot. Is it like they feel guilty because
there's a survivor's guilt.
There's a survivor's guilt, absolutely. And that's why I was saying that is because to me I was like, oh man, Henry's got so much potential. He can go do so much. He doesn't.
He could go be a big brother to someone else. There's so much life left in that young man's.
That's right.
You know, there's a lot. There's a lot, and obviously we all agree that the Clicker Stripper Club would be the first place we'd go. And then,
Anime Toonami, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna make it through today, buddy. You're gonna make it through today.
You're gonna be fine, and we're all
you're gonna be all right.
We're all watching this week to week together. I'm so happy you guys are tuning in every week with us and chatting with us. You guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, come join the chat. Every Monday we're here. We are sometimes making no, we're not making bad takes. We're making mostly good takes and sometimes excellent takes.
Jokes. We're just making jokes.
These are jokes, and there's enough dark, like gritty, like sad stuff happening in the show that we've got to be the light. We are the fireflies. We are the light. And I'm happy you guys can find it here every week with us.
That's right.
Exactly. What are we excited for in the next few episodes? Anything you're looking forward to?
Do we have, was it 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Do we have 4 more episodes left?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that what we're doing?
Is it 9 or 10 episodes? Is it 9? Did we say
I'm
it was
not sure.
9?
I truly do not know.
That's not our job to like figure that out. We just watch them. We just watch
somebody originally, I also kind of don't want to know, but originally I saw somebody saying it was 9 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, this show is just getting rid of just throwing characters out, just like bang, bang, bang. And I know the game is like that too, but maybe because it feels like a few more hours you spend with them, you kind of get to know them. Whereas the show is just like in and out, in and out, in and out. Feels really, really quick to me.
Yeah, that is one thing the game sort of has the advantage of, is that sense of loss might feel more profound in the game because of the literal time you're spending. Yes.
Absolutely. But also the characters are incredibly memorable in the show so far. It's been a fantastic journey. I don't even look ahead. Did you watch the coming up thing?
I did. I don't really, again, my memory is so terrible. I don't really remember. I do know that we are on our way. As you guys know, from episode to episode, we've been talking about going to see Tommy. And so I think that's coming up. And as we know in the game, that there is a town of cannibals that essentially
Is that happening in the show?
I don't know, but I think so. I think that would be it happens in the snow, and we do have some snow episodes coming up.
Snow episodes we definitely have coming up,
yeah. And so Ellie's sort of got to take what she's learned from Joel up to this point and sort of, for once, take care of Joel and protect Joel because some unfortunate events that may or may not happen to him. Who knows where they diverge from the game at this point?
I'm really enjoying my time watching this show.
Fantastic show.
It's
it's really great. I thought this was probably one of the 2 strongest episodes.
I agree.
Could be the strongest episode if we didn't, we don't count that bottle episode with Bill and Frank, which I really loved, and most people really loved. Unless you're a fan of conservative right wing. If you're a quartering fan, maybe you didn't love that as much.
Why not? How come they didn't like it? I don't understand, Kassem.
They just don't know how to love, dude. Welcome to our side of the world where we love everyone. Doesn't matter what gender you are, how many genders you are, how many dicks or vaginas you have. We're fine with it.
Everybody needs love, Kassem. Everybody needs love.
Absolutely. And that's the one message I want you guys to take away here in chat. Thank you guys for being here. Another episode in the can, Bruce. We're doing a killer job.
Are we? It's people are upset that I didn't take the show deadly serious. They're very upset.
Show me the man, and I will ban him forever, and then quickly unban him because
don't ban anybody.
I like the fact that people have such strong opinions about the show. I really do. I think it's wonderful that you guys are in the chat and you can voice them while we're live doing the show. I think that's the beauty of being on Twitch and being on YouTube. That I love it. If you have an opinion, you think our opinions suck, great. Voice them. If you're here with us and we have a discourse around it, that's what this is all about.
Talk about it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, until next week, which will be episode 6, I will catch you next time. Remember, if you're watching this on Bruce's YouTube channel, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell. That way you know every week when Bruce uploads a new video. Catch him on Twitch every afternoon around 1 p.m. Catch me on Twitch. I'm on 10 a.m. Monday through Thursday, sometimes Fridays as well. We welcome every new member in our community with a forehead kissy and a hug. So come on in.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. If you feel like you've been abused by today's show, come on in and we'll treat you right tomorrow. That's right. Any last words, Bruce?
Not at all. I'm very excited to continue watching this show. This was my favorite to date. So.
Yeah, I think I might be there with you there, and we got to talk about another show after this. What's the next big one? We've got to see.
I've been watching. I didn't tell you. I've been watching Station 11. I'm 7 episodes in.
You're 7 in? Did you watch episode 7, or have you? Is that the? Have you seen it? Because that's a hell of an episode.
Okay, I'm like halfway through it.
Okay. How do you? What do you think so far?
It's good. It's very similar to The Last of Us.
Right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
But in that show, I care about the characters in a way that I relate to them differently than I do in this show. That's for sure. It's a different relationship. But I'm glad you're liking it. I know.
I am. I'll give you the full take when I'm completed it. But yeah, it's a good recommendation. So it's only one season too. So
it's a mini series based on a book. One of the best like single seasons miniseries I've ever seen. It's post pandemic. It's got a lot of parallels to what you guys are enjoying about Last of Us. That's all I'll really say. I don't want to hype it up too much.
Understood. It's great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.